Everybody, thanks for watching. Merkabah Scholar Society members, make sure you guys check your email for the meeting video. It should be out now. Also, make sure everybody who reserved for the Egypt trip, make sure you make that first payment and get it out the way. You guys still have time on that. Also, if you didn't reserve, make sure you reserve. You guys still have time on that as well. The emails have been sent out, so make sure you guys see those emails. Also, make sure you guys are paying attention to what's happening with crypto. We're getting a lot of emails with this, a lot of questions about crypto. Probably a lot of videos on this. If you're in the society, you guys know what we talk about. But it's important for anybody who's not in the society, for anybody who doesn't know what's going on, for you guys to try to be aware of what's happening. I'm hearing a lot of horror stories, a lot of people losing a lot of money. XRP, you have to understand what's happening with that. I put out videos on that. We discussed this within the society. You have to know what that is and why it is doing what it's doing. This is known to people that's a forecaster like myself. I keep up with the trends. I keep up with all this stuff. I've made crazy money for a lot of people and myself because I understand how this stuff works. It's not what you think it is. What's happening is about to be the biggest change in global history and world history. It's going to change everything. And you have to understand that things are being put in place to make this happen. It's not what you think it is. This is not just simply about investing. This is about a global change in our financial system and the way we do money and how we use money. It's a big deal, and it's a lot that's going to come with that. So don't just think you can just invest without any knowledge and make crazy money. It's not going to work that way. Have knowledge. Knowledge is power. These people didn't get here by luck. They know what they're doing, and they're using you to make themselves even richer. So be smart. I put out so many videos on so many of these things. People complain about what it costs. This stuff is going to save lives and make people a lot of money. And I mean that literally, because a lot of people are, doing harm to themselves. Let's just say that I've heard of because of situations that they fell victim to. So be smart, man. And just know what you're getting yourself into. Don't invest outside of your means, man. You got a family to take care of. You can't put them in jeopardy because you don't understand what you're doing. So I really wanted to get into that and stress that because a lot of bad news that I've been seeing and hearing about from people making wrong decisions. I do what I do for a reason. If you're not prepared to invest in that, invest in yourself, then, I can still help out the best way I can. So yeah, make sure you guys are being smart about investments that you're making going forward. But yeah, let's get into this video. So you guys know I put out a lot of videos over the years on the state of Black people and our culture and what's happening with our society. And, it's a trap. Anybody who's ever been conned or tricked before, you know how that feels to be tricked. A lot of us now, if you're street smart, you can spot a trick from a mile away. And a lot of people don't like the feeling of being conned or tricked. You feel stupid. You feel dumb. And when it comes to the hip hop culture, this is exactly what happened to us. We have been tricked. We have been conned into exactly what we have accepted as our culture. And it's not our culture, right? So we look at things like these award ceremonies and these shows and everything that's happening with these hip hop stars and how they're making crazy money. And it's smoke and mirrors to keep us in the understanding that this stuff is good for Black people. Anytime we see money surrounding something, we think it's good, and we don't realize it's a part of the con, plain and simple. So the money that these people have surrounded themselves with and have been given to them is to keep us with this illusion that hip hop is good for the Black community, that hip hop equals wealth, right? This culture equals money. It equals sophistication somehow, when clearly what it's showing does not. So I want people to really understand and keep coming into the knowledge of how this stuff has been a trap for us over the years, and how the only way we're ever going to change or come out of our situation is to get rid of it. Now, if you've been paying attention, we're slowly moving away from it. I think more people, more than ever, are becoming more aware of hip hop and the message that it's putting out, that they don't want to be a part of it. But you have a lot of these drill artists and a lot of these artists that's commanding huge crowds, thousands of people, that's bringing nonsense, that's just bringing the community down. And we're not realizing how it's a trap. All these people that's been put out here, from your Cardi B's to your NBA young boys or what have you, all these people have been set upon our community to keep it destroyed, to perpetuate exactly what's destroying us, plain and simple. So whether you realize that or not, that's exactly what's going on. It's a part of a con that's been set up so long ago. So, and the calculated destruction of the Black man and woman, that video, I really get into all this and understand the psychological programming that hip hop brings, right? That it does to the Black community, and how with hip hop and with the culture that we follow, they can control the black community by remote control. No longer do they need to put out propaganda, right? As far as the leaflets and the fake movies, our music is something we accepted. And it's a culture we accepted that we fought for. We argued for this music. MTV didn't want to play it. They didn't want to talk about it. And now we're arguing for it today. And it's in a way that we don't realize is destroying us, right? So a lot more people is coming forward with this debate. And I'm involved with a lot of groups that we talk about this, the state of hip hop, the state of the culture, and how, man, they can make movies, they can put out songs, and they can do so much that can back hip hop spiritually, right? Pretty soon, people are going to be talking about the rise of Diddy, right? The comeback of Diddy. And people are going to forget about everything. It's just how good they're able to reprogram us to accept something, right? So he can use his son to do it. He can use whatever he wants to do it, but eventually people are going to accept it and forget about everything because that's what the programming does, right? So not to get into no Diddy stuff, but it's just to get people into the understanding of how easy it is for them to program us to accept something that is a bad look for the black community. But you guys, again, have to look at the setup. And I don't do enough of these videos. A lot of the videos I got into this are older. But, I mean, it's going back into the 80s and 90s. It's going back into understanding how this thing was set up and realizing that, you know, it was a trap from the beginning, hip-hop, this whole culture of us accepting it. And it started from just the little words, the things that we start accepting as meaning something that's revolution, but it's not. Right. So expressing ourselves and just saying I'm bad or I'm a bad MF, right? I'm a bad motherfucker. I'm bad. Not realizing that you saying you're bad is you speaking ill will onto yourself, right? It's word magic, wordplay. You can look at it and say, it's just semantics. Me saying I'm bad is saying what exactly, right? Today we look at it and we expect, or we say that when you say I'm bad, you're saying that you're cool, right? And that's how we took it. I'm bad, I'm cool, I'm not to be messed with, right? I'm bad. And it went from that little thing, right, to I'm gangster, I'm a thug, right? And now it's just those things imply so much more. Saying I'm bad, everybody's bad. It's not that harsh, right? But saying I'm a thug, saying I'm a gangster, what that represents is an attachment that's surrounded with so much, you know, drugs and crime and murder, prostitution, anything you can think of that's just vile and disgusting on a part of a person that you don't really want to be wrapped up in. And we get it from the Italian community with gangs, right? So we know the first gangs wasn't us. You know, Crips and Bloods they're not ancient. They're not early America. We know that the gangs the Italians and the Irish had in America was basically running everything. And they basically took that and parlayed it into what they have today, which is, you know, a civilized situation. We have not done so. So we looked at the so-called gangsters and the mafia and what they were doing back then and how they kind of had this hold on the city of the fear that they put out there for people as being something good. Like they did what they wanted to do. They had cops in pocket, and is what these rappers, you know, romanticize about, what they fantasize about. I'm a gangster. Every rapper that you heard of when we start getting into the whole gangster culture, the whole thug mentality of hip hop, talked about being a gangster. From your Biggies and your Tupacs, everybody was gangster, gangster, gangster. How you had Junior Mafia, right? All the little C's, all these names of these rappers was tied to some type of mafia name, right? And you start to look at that, it's like these people are basically trying to emulate mafia. That's not us, that's them. So we look at hip hop and say, this is black music, this is black culture. It's not. It's us taking Italian mob culture and bringing it into the black community and making ourselves look in a way that we are not. Because before all this, that was not us. We were not gangsters and thugs. We would never call ourselves those things, right? We were trying to show this society that we are just as good as they are. And the way you destroy that is exactly what we have today, by us perpetuating a system that has our identity wrapped up in murder, violence, drugs, or what have you. Now, you can say, well, white people did it, but we're not in the same situation as them. Whenever somebody say, well, white people listen to the gangster rap, white people listen to hip hop, we are not in the same situation as them economically or as a people. So you can't equate what they're doing or any other race, what they're doing to us. We're at the bottom. So we can't be equated with people that's at the top and controlling everything that's happening, right? So what a white community does as far as listening to hip hop music or acting gangster or thug or what have you does not affect their people as a whole. Plain and simple. So little Ray and little white bulls in these neighborhoods, whatever they do, the little shit they get caught up in and whatever they're doing is not going to affect the white community as a whole. It's just going to be some wiggers sitting in prison for something. They're going to come out and they're going to get all the second chances that they want to get their life together. And they're either going to do it or they're not. But this is what I've seen happen personally, to where these so-called wiggers go to jail and come out and are doing well. I know a few that are doing well because they have family and people around them to help them out. Black person, you get locked out, you come out, you have nobody, you can barely survive, you end up going back in. It's a revolving door with us, right? So we have to look at this and understand the Trojan horse that is hip hop. Still to this day, it exists. It exists to destroy and keep us exactly where we are by destroying the black family and the black community. It's no other way around it. And it's something that should be talked about more and more, because until we realize this, we're going to stay exactly where we are. It's important because building wealth and having people in the mindset to understand how important that is wrapped up in this. It's tied to this. Because when you got so many young black men wanting to be rappers, wanting to be basketball stars or what have you, wanting to be any type of emulation of a gangster or thug, they don't have their minds in their investments. Half of them don't even want to invest in themselves when it comes to hip hop. They just want to look the part. They want to look the part. They don't want to even put the money into themselves and their career in music. They just want to look like they're doing that. They want to be on the gram. They want to be showing off. It's a look. To put time and money in and to dedicate yourself to something, you'll usually get to that point. But this is not what we should be doing as black people, as far as us progressing as a people, or even you progressing as an individual. This is the last thing you should be thinking about doing. And people think just because they got locked up and they got a record, that's the only route for them. And this is by design. Get these people to sell drugs in the community, get them locked up, right? Then make them believe that the only way that they can ever make it out of the hood is to be a rapper. And some of them succeed. Some of them do good things doing rap and they make money and they come out of it. But all they're doing is putting back into the black community exactly what destroyed their lives and had them in a chase. It's not going to happen for everybody. Now everybody's going to be able to chase being signed and get signed. It's going to end up destroying more lives. And we're seeing this. Even some of the guys who get into the industry end up destroying their whole squad because they can't leave the streets alone, right? So this whole thing, I mean, it's like enough's enough. When are we going to realize how much of a trap hip hop is? And the culture is a mess. It's horrible. And, you go back, as I said, to the beginning and looking at how, we basically asked for this, and that's reverse psychology. And it's by design that we asked for us to have this hip hop music. And when we got it, we relinquished control of it to them in exchange for money. And that's just basically what's been happening ever since then. It's crazy for something that is so big in the black community, that dominates the black community so much, that it's basically, it's wrapped into our everyday lives, man. It's every single day, every time you walk outside, hip hop, hip hop, hip hop. Every black person you pass by, you see some type of remnants of hip hop and what they say, the clothes they wear, or if they walk, what have you. It's crazy to see that much influence on the people being controlled by another people, right? It would be the equivalent of Chinese people controlling Islam, right? Can you imagine that? You go to an Arab country and Islam is being ran by some Chinese people. That's ridiculous, right? It's basically what's happening here. We are not benefiting from hip hop culture. They are. Everybody but us is. So for us to have our culture so largely wrapped up into hip hop, and for us to be getting very little out of it as a people, it's crazy. And it should show you right there that it was made to destroy us and keep us where we are rather than to help us out. So white people have banks and Fortune 500 companies, and they help their people out. They help their people get businesses and grow, right? Asians as well. They have banks. They have a lot of companies and corporations. They have markets. They have everything to help their people even come here and do great and flourish, right? You on the West Coast, Mexicans are everywhere. They run everything. They have stores all over the place. They help their people out. You see it in every type of race of people but black people. Where can you go in America and say the same for black folks? Nowhere. You can't go anywhere and see us controlling and dominating something that's benefiting the people in the community. Hip hop is not doing that. So for it to have the reach that it has, the award shows, right? The everywhere you go, you see it. And for us to not be freaking multi-trillionaires as the people is crazy, because every person you walk past, I don't care what their race is, they display some form of hip hop. And the words they're using and their clothes, the slang or what have you, you see it. You see it on ESPN. You see it everywhere. The mannerisms, everywhere. Hip hop is infused in everybody. And it's a culture that is African-American, that is black, that we put out there. We perpetuate it, but it's been used against us because we don't control it and we never did. So what do we do with it? Where do we go from here when it comes to hip hop culture? We got to change it. And I keep telling you guys, the only thing that's really going to put us back in a situation where we have some type of unity is hip hop. And the music has to change in order for that to happen. And unless the music change, it will never happen. The music has to change to reflect the change that we want to see in the black community, whether that's going to college, whether that's being more educated, whether that's stopping the violence and killing each other, respecting black women, growing as a business entrepreneurs and changing our economic situation. The music will control that. The music will make that happen. Because look at the alternative. What has the music put out? Exactly what the problem is in the black community. So that should tell you again that it was used to do exactly that, specifically that. Why would these people who supposedly hate us, who we see all the problems in the black community, all the racism around the world, everything that's happening, somehow they care about how many niggas you shot. They care about how much drugs you sold. Because they understand that perpetuation and that message is only going to destroy the black community and not harm anybody outside of it but us. So while everybody else is being entertained by those music and those lyrics, those songs, it's destroying the black community, and it's clear as day. And it's like, we don't want to see that message. We don't want to understand that that's exactly what's happening. And it's a problem. It's a problem. So until we realize that is the issue and that's what's really keeping the community exactly where it is, then we won't see any type of remedy in the black community until the music first is attacked, changed, and accepted as something that's going to be more beneficial to black people rather than what we have today. So you just got to go and look through music history and look at what we had before. Look at the R&B and the soul, right? The blues, the music we had that kept our families together, kept us united. The music that was talking about respecting the black women, begging black women to be with us and to love us and show them how much we love them, right? So we had a major change with that to where R&B is no longer R&B. We went from Boyz II Men to R. Kelly to Chris Brown. And that music jumped and changed in its tone, right? In the way singing was done away with. It was singing, but with a twist of hip hop. So we basically took the vulgarness of hip hop and infused it into our R&B.